What is going on, guys? We have some alarming tweets and comments coming out of Dallas from Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and basically the powers that be. I'm going to get to them and dissect all of the comments. But first, I want y'all to do me a big favor and smash that subscribe button for some more daily Dallas Cowboys content. I really appreciate that. And let's go and get started. I have my phone right here with all the comments, and we're going to start with a John Machado tweet, and it's Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan, just kind of giving his comments, and I'm going to go and read them. You could get some help next week and just absolutely wreck the heck out of your plans for your salary cap when the season's over. So guys, what that's basically saying is we're in debt right now, but we need to save money for retirement. That's like me going to my financial advisor and him telling me I'm $100,000 in debt, but I'm like, I'm 30 years old. I got to start saving for retirement. It makes zero sense. And what really concerns me about that is, one, he's saying we have to pay Dak next year. We know that. And we will pay Dak. It's the right move. We should have paid him already. That would have been the real correct move, right? Instead of paying some other guys. What's really alarming about that is we're going to pay Dak, and we're not going to be able to really pay a lot of other people. Right now, we have a ton of holes in our roster, not including Dak Prescott. He's not a hole, right? He fills that quarterback position, but we haven't filled the other positions, most notably on defense and on parts of the offensive line. But let's take a look at where the money is besides Dak Prescott. It's La'el Collins and Anthony Brown, who are injured right now, who can't play. It's DeMarcus Lawrence, who's the biggest contract on the team, but hasn't performed in, 2-3 years now. It's Jalen Smith, who also isn't performing. And this isn't new to Mike Nolan's defense. It was the same thing last year, and I believe the year before that. So that to me is a major concern, and it shows that Jerry is just a little out of touch. You know, the teams that can't afford to spend a ton right now are Super Bowl contenders because they got to pay those guys, right? Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs had to save some money because they had to pay Pat Mahomes and other guys that were winning them games. Right now, we're not winning games. So you're taking a losing team and you're saving money so you can, pay more losing players? Because I'm not referring to Dak Prescott. I'm referring to who else we're going to pay. Because if it's not in free agency, then he's referring to paying your own guys. I don't see who's really earning the next big contract. Is it going to be Leighton Vander Esch? Because he's another guy that can't stay on the field. And when he was on the field week one, he wasn't looking all that great. Granted, it was very few snaps. It is a new scheme. But still, you've got to pay guys that are going to be reliable and are going to be healthy to show up on Sundays, because that's been DeMarcus Lawrence's main excuse, is that he's playing injured. I mean, I guess he's been playing injured his whole career. So I don't know if we need him to. I mean, he sat at home during COVID the whole entire offseason. What was he doing? I mean, was he boxing? Was he getting in fights or something? Because how does your body not eventually just heal? I mean, does he need to retire early? Does he need to take a year off like some other guys have done? Because I think that has been good for some players' careers. And I'm not even kidding, guys. It might need to be something he seriously should look into. We'll move on from there before I get too worked up. We got Stephen Jones on 105.3 The Fan. I just think we're not as far away as it seems, but we do have a lot of work to do. We're very confident in this team. We really believe we have a great head coach, a great staff, and a great group of players that will get the job done. We're not as far away as it seems. Does that resonate with any Cowboys fan? If it does, leave me a comment, because that doesn't resonate with me. Maybe you could have gotten away with saying that after the Seattle game, because we were very competitive at times. But guys, we didn't make any adjustments until the game was over. It was 41-14. How could you have watched the game, watched the defense with zero pulse that showed nothing? They're not as far away as it seems. What does that even mean? Because DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith and those guys, they've shown you who they are. I mean, they've been with the team multiple years now. like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence peaked 2 years ago. He hasn't done anything since 2018. So I don't know what you're expecting to happen. Maybe these guys will all of a sudden come up and have a good game against the New York Giants, which I think is what Steven and Jerry are hoping and expecting for. But that doesn't make the team any better. Are they going to be that good against the Baltimore Ravens? Heck no, they're not going to be. We already know that. Cowboys fans know that. Jerry and Steven know that as well. They're just not letting the fans really know the truth. So I'm having a hard time resonating with those comments. Well, let's move on. Another Stephen Jones quote on 105.3 The Fan. We're just not executing. We've just got a lot of work to do here. I think we have a talented team, but that doesn't mean you're a good team. This team just has a lot of work to do. I'm at the point to where's the talent on the defensive side of the football that you're talking about? Because our most talented players, which I hope you thought were because you paid them the most, and Jalen Smith and DeMarcus Lawrence, turns out they're not as talented as you thought they were. Or maybe Stephen Jones didn't think. I mean, he kind of went out and said before we paid DeMarcus Lawrence that DeMarcus Lawrence wasn't a J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald kind of pass rusher. And man, was he right. So where's the talent? Is it Jalen Smith? Is it a 45-year-old Sean Lee who may or may not play another game with the team? I mean, dude's a ticking time bomb on the football field as far as just being able to stay healthy. I have no faith in being able to rely on a guy like Sean Lee. Leighton Vander Esch, what if he all of a sudden regresses? Who is that on? That's on coaching, right? So we'll move on from that. And also talent, safety. Where's the talent? I don't see any talent. Defensive back, I see very average talent outside of Trayvon Diggs, who's not ready yet, right? So I got something about Trayvon too I'll bring up here in a minute. Because I have seen great things out of him, or good things out of him. We have a quote from Mike McCarthy. There will be no change at defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy said his confidence in Mike Nolan remains high. We're going to stay the course, he said. The Cowboys have allowed 146 points through 4 games, the most in franchise history. Starting 1-3, Mike McCarthy has. Jason Garrett never started 1-3. He started 2-2 multiple times. But 1-3 is pretty much horrible. 0-4 just got Bill O'Brien fired as GM and head coach. 1-3 is bad. I guess Mike McCarthy's just coming out and saying the right things. I guess you don't fire your defensive coordinator this early in the season. And I will say it could just be taking a long time for the scheme and for the players to learn the scheme and for them to execute better. But it's a head coach's job to know that ahead of time and to be prepared for that. And you weren't talking before the season started about, guys, this is going to take 8 to 12 weeks for the defense to get locked in. But once they are, they're going to be really good. No, you said day one that we were expecting to be a contender and that we looked really good. So where'd that go? And also on to coaching, you guys are playing guys out of position and it's killing the team right now. And just the first one to come to mind is Daryl Worley. He's a safety, man. I don't care if he's played defensive back 95% of his career. I watched 4 games and I know he's a safety. He's not a defensive back and he can't cover Odell Beckham Jr. one-on-one. So you should have never put him in the position to do it multiple times throughout the game. No adjustments from Mike Nolan, none from Mike McCarthy. Moving on, we have a really good quote coming up from Mike Nolan. And I say that, I don't mean it in a good way. Asked about Jalen Smith's performance against Cleveland, Mike Nolan came to his defense. I'm not going to read all of it. This is the honest truth. I don't know why Jalen takes the criticism he does. Yeah, I wonder why. Was it the 300 yards we gave up against the Browns? I don't know what it is. Maybe people just don't like him. I kind of think people do like Jalen Smith, but in spite of how he plays. He's a good football player. He plays extremely hard. I think he has improved. I'd be the first to say I call it like I see it. I always do. Nobody has played a perfect game. And he basically went on to say that they grade players based on the effort they give and that Jalen Smith has given adequate effort, to say the least, if not above that. So now what you're telling me is you're really being honest. You're saying Jalen Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, these guys are putting in the effort. They just suck. They're just not very good. That's literally what you're telling me. You're telling me you're not good, the coaching staff, and your personnel isn't good out on the field. So, and those quotes would actually apply to a guy like Trayvon Diggs, is what I wanted to say. Because he's a rookie, and he's being thrown to the Sharks, and he's getting beat a lot, but man, he's out there competing, and I say he's getting beat a lot, man. He's kind of draped coverage all over guys, and they're still catching the ball. So if you call that getting beat, whatever, but he definitely has. Moving forward, we got one more, and it's another Mike McCarthy comment. Okay, let's say, we don't have an effort issue. If I was going to rank them, McCarthy said after the 49-38 loss to Cleveland, number one, our turnover ratio is our biggest negative after 4 games. So he's blaming the problem on turnovers. And we all know turnovers has been a major problem this season. But if we didn't turn over the ball once in that game, and we assume the defense continued to play the way they played the whole 60 minutes, would we have won that game? Heck no. Would it have been closer? Maybe, maybe not, because then the defense doesn't go into prevent defense, and maybe we don't score all those points and come back into the game. The defense didn't show up. So, yeah, turnovers are a problem, and they're a major problem, and they're the biggest problem for teams in the NFL. If you turn the ball over, you're not going to win a lot of games. But if you just watch the game itself and watch what happened on the football field, and you don't see that defense was the biggest problem, then, man, you're the problem. So Mike McCarthy, we need a little more accountability because, the way you're answering these questions is, in my opinion, just alarming. Cowboys Nation, do me a big favor and leave me your thoughts in the comments. Am I crazy here? I certainly don't think so. I'm frustrated. Not panicking, but I'm a little panicked on the powers that be, because I know they just see this Giants game as a scapegoat, as a way out of holding anybody accountable, because they think they're going to go get an easy win. And guys, the way we're playing right now, I wouldn't expect an easy win against anybody. But if we are going to win a game, it's probably against this Giants team right now without Saquon Barkley. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. I got more videos coming up this week about that Cowboys-Giants game on Sunday, and that's it. I'm out. Peace!